The sun burned across the savannah like a fire without flames. The air was so dry that every breath seemed to steal water from the body. Twisted, leafless trees cast short, useless shadows over the cracked ground. In the distance, a female elephant walked with heavy steps, her trunk swaying slowly as she searched for the last waterhole that still held water. Then, something impossible appeared in her path. 2 lion cubs emerged from the bushes, far too young to be alone. Their paws trembled, their eyes were wide, and their tiny bodies showed exhaustion. They didn't roar or bare their teeth. They simply stood still before her. One of them rose on its hind legs, stretching its front paws in a gesture almost human, as if begging for help. The elephant hesitated. Lions and elephants rarely meet without conflict. But there was something in the eyes of those little ones, not a threat, but an urgent plea. Without stepping back, she moved forward. The cubs retreated a few steps and then began to lead the way, glancing back at her every moment to be sure she was following. The smell changed as they approached, sap, dust, and a faint metallic scent. Behind a tangle of broken branches, the scene revealed itself. A fallen tree lay across the ground, crushing something beneath it. It was an adult lioness. Her golden fur was matted with sweat and dirt. Her side rose and fell unevenly, and her hind leg was pinned under the heavy trunk. The cubs pressed against her face, letting out high-pitched, fragile sounds, almost like cries. The lioness lifted her gaze to the elephant. There was no fear there, only pain and surrender. But before the elephant could approach, a heavy rustling echoed to the left. At the edge of her vision, shapes moved through the vegetation. Her ears spread wide in instinctive alert. Perhaps hyenas, perhaps another predator drawn to the lioness's weakness. Time was running out. With a deep breath, the elephant moved forward. She wrapped her trunk around the fallen tree and planted her feet firmly in the hard soil. Her muscles rippled beneath thick skin as she pulled. The trunk resisted, creaked, and released a cloud of dust. One more effort, and the wood lifted just enough to free the lioness's leg. The lioness let out a rough sound, not of threat, but of relief. The cubs climbed onto her, licking her face in desperation and joy. The elephant released the tree and stepped back, keeping her eyes on them. The lioness dragged herself aside, her breathing still heavy. Her eyes met the elephant's. There were no words, but there was understanding. A silent thank you that needed no translation. The elephant stood for a moment longer, then turned and walked away, her shadow disappearing into the blazing horizon. Weeks later, travelers reported seeing the same lioness at a small waterhole, hunting with strength. At her side, the 2 cubs ran and played, strong and alive. On the ground, the small paw prints crossed over the broad marks of an old visitor. An invisible thread tied them together forever, the memory of a day when the savannah, for just a moment, chose compassion over the law of the strongest. If this story touched your heart, tell us in the comments what moved you the most. We read every single one. And if you want to see more unlikely encounters that reveal the purest side of nature, subscribe to the channel now and turn on notifications. There's another story waiting for you right now, and I promise it will move you too.